Well, hello there and welcome to Mission Unstoppable. We're here at a very special time of 7 p.m. because I have a very special guest who's coming to us from Australia. I want you to meet Cie Cie Nguyen. She's an Australian pharmacist, a mother of 4 boys, who is a longtime volunteer with the Australian Health Humanity Organization. They're a nonprofit that provides diverse, charitable, and humanitarian services to relieve human suffering and improve quality of life of those in need. But not only do they provide opthamalic, medical, and dental treatment to those who desperately need it and are living in poverty, but they also provide schooling for students who live in poverty and can't afford to school. They go to Cambodia and Vietnam both. CieCie is just the most compassionate human being you're ever going to meet, and I think it's because when she was just 13 years old, she had to leave her home in South Vietnam and go on a perilous journey across the sea. She became known as one of the infamous Vietnamese boat people. Today, she has the honor of being the first author to tell the tale in English of the invasion of North Vietnam into the South, and her book is titled ShockPeacd. And when it gets republished, you're going to definitely want to go out and grab that book. CieCie, welcome to the show. So good to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Frankie. Good evening. But I also would like to say good morning to my fellow Australians. It is a rainy morning.
It's a rainy morning in Australia.
At the moment. But hi, guys.
Hi, Facebook friends. So, CieCie,
sorry, Frankie. I also would like to thank you for allowing me this opportunity to be here today to talk about my recent experience. And I am only a mere volunteer. I'm holding no position within the AHA, which is the Australian Health and Humanitarian Aid Incorporation. I am not anybody. I am not.
Well, you're a somebody.
Yet. I'm not here to glorify myself.
No. I asked you to come on because when you reached out to me, you were actually in Cambodia. You were on the ground helping the people. You're a volunteer. You're a volunteer, and you volunteer and have done so for 11 years with this organization, and it's near and dear to your heart because you know the country, you understand the citizens, you understand what it's like to not have things. Like, I mean, your family was, had lots of things before the invasion of North Vietnam, and then you had nothing. Food was scarce, clothing was scarce. You understand scarcity, and so I think perhaps this is why you go. I don't know, but I think it's beautiful that you do it. I mean, you're a pharmacist, you're trained, so you go, you disperse what? Medicine, vitamins. Tell us what you see there when you go to Cambodia.
Mosquitoes? Sorry, is that the question?
Tell me what you see, like when you go there, like what's the conditions like?
Oh, well, uneducated, poor, far from civilization.
Oh, really? Okay.
To me, they look so beautiful because they were peasant. They're so poor, and they no education available to them, and they were stateless as well. The Vietnamese in Cambodian land, we help the organization helping both Vietnamese and Cambodian in many remote villages, but the thing to me that raised my that tweaked my heart a little bit was the stateless state of those people. It was just over 40 years. And, stateless people anywhere around the world at the moment. But to be that stateless over almost half a century, to me, that was so beautiful.
Right, and you explained to me that that they're in this position of statelessness. They have no country, they have no rights, they have no voting, they can't do anything. They have no birth certificates, they've got no passports, they've got nothing. And for $25 American, US, they can become a citizen. Like, how extraordinary is that? For $25. And this is all that is standing between them and being a citizen.
I know it's a mere, it's only, it's only the matter of money. It's nothing political about it. And I would like to raise that awareness as well. To our 25 US dollars or 40 Australian dollars, to us, it's just so little. But to them, for them, it's impossible to raise that much money per head to become a legal citizen, to at least to have the future for their children. And you know, when I was dispensing, the thing that's really sad, so sorrowful for me, when I'm calling out names to give out their medication, the names reflecting on those people were just meanings of desperation, hopelessness, sufferings. But that's how the peasant minds work. They reflect what they're thinking. At that time, 40 years ago, the birth of their children did not bring joy or happiness, but it's only hopelessness. And
so sad.
You know, like
what kind of diseases are they suffering with? Like, what are they suffering with, like physically? Mentally, I can understand. Like, so what kind of diseases are, like, is it heart disease? Is there, like, what kind of things are you treating?
Mostly they have gastritis,
yeah,
the Helicobacter pylori infection because of unhygiene,
the water.
And it's water. So that's why we are distributing water filter bucket to them as well. And that is also one, you know, you see that on a picture. We had to assemble 600 buckets. And because the transportation pretty hard, so we had to do that on the spot. Everyone, doctor, pharmacist, dentist, you know, accountant, whoever there, just have to, you know, all hands on deck to help assemble those buckets. And you know, while doing that, over 1,000 people already waiting outside, waiting for us.
Wow!
Because we are giving 600 vouchers to 600 families, and with 600 families, you have about, you know, twice that.
For sure, at least twice that number, for sure.
And you have to work under pressure.
So the dentist, how many people did the dentist see with this last visit? How many people?
How many people that we visited?
The dentist.
We given out. The dentist, over 1,000.
1,000
you know,
people.
They have two teams. I was only on the last trip, the humanitarian trip. The first trip, they did cataract operation.
Okay.
And the 504 cases.
Wow.
Over 1,000 medical examination, and the similar number on the dentistry, and the similar number on the eye checks.
And how long would you guys go for? How long do you go there for?
2 weeks normally.
You see over 1,000 people in 2 weeks. All of this.
Yeah, in
wow,
2 weeks. It's 504 cataract operation within
it's like non-stop. Boom, boom, boom.
Non-stop. No, non-stop, because I shared my room with a nurse from Melbourne, a theater nurse from Melbourne, and she said, you know, it's so arduous. It's just non-stop, and you just have to keep going. Even with me, when I was dispensing, I was so exhausted. The humid and the heat. We only had a fan to work with, and squashing on the floor, getting up and down, bending all days. My arthritis actually crying out. And at one stage I said, I have to have a crane, you know, to lift me up, because I could not. But then I wanted to stop. I was exhausted. But when I looked out at the window, my dispensing window, I see lines of pitiful people.
Yeah.
They were just holding onto their prescription, like holding on something that's very important, hope to them. And so I couldn't stop. I could not stop, because I just said they had to travel for so far, maybe half a day to come here. And if I'm not giving them what actually the doctor giving them now, they had to wait for me. And if I stop for an hour, half an hour, then they had to wait for me for that hour. So, and then it might be too late. It might be too late for them to go back home. And it's traveling in a poor country, you know, it's hard. It's so hard.
Wow.
And there was a family, took them half a day to get to us. They had to get up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then she got to it at lunchtime, and then just waiting for the examination and then go back home at the same day.
So the AHHA, they go twice a year. Do you know of any other groups that are going to help these people in between, or are you guys it?
I think there might be some, but not within my knowledge at the moment, because I'm only here with AHHA, and so I think there must be some others as well. But we are based in Australia, and volunteers from all over the states of Australia.
That's incredible.
Especially the ophthalmologists from Melbourne and the nurses. Now they're beautiful people. And it's not only Vietnamese Australian, they're Australians, you know, Australians, and they're extending their helping
it's a diverse group.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's so beautiful to look at them, and I am so thankful to all the Australians that help the professional, because the association had a lot of professional help, and we're professional from Health Professional Association as well, but there is others, all walks of life. Accounting,
is it all donated?
Architects.
Is everything donated? Like when you go there, do you pay for your own trip to go there?
Yes, we have to pay for our airfare, the accommodation, and the food, and that logistic actually provided by.
Where are you? Are you staying in a tent? Like, you're not in a hotel? Are you in a tent?
Hotel. We stay in a hotel, but there was one time. I think last year, I didn't go last year, but last year. One of the dancers told me that they came to the hotel, and then the receptionist said they have a penthouse up on the top floor. That's the only one left. Would you like to have it? They said, yes, of course. And then, when he went up there are loads of condoms all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
And needles.
Oh my gosh.
And also there's another room that another doctor stayed in. He said, I swear, my slipper, last night, I put that in the corner over there. But this morning, one of them traveled to the other corner. That must have been a rat or something.
Oh my gosh, that's scary.
And she jumped onto the bed, and a little mountain scuttled over.
That's so funny.
And
oh my gosh.
Condition like that, and still we're coming back every year, every single year, and now it's twice a year. And I'm committing myself to help twice a year too, in March and in August. Yeah, to raise awareness as well as to help those poor people, because it's hope. We know that it's hope, very important, that even though it's only little, thinking about it, we only to give them a little hope, of everything, basic necessities, and some medication, and some checking on their medical health and things. But hope is more important, because out there, they know that they're not forgotten. The people coming back to help them, to give them a hand, to raise hope. And it's important to me, because I've been there. I was desperate when I left Vietnam on a boat, floating with nowhere to land on.
Who was going to
take yes, hope. The glimpse of hope.
Yeah.
And
St. Francis said, where there's despair, there's hope. And I think that's really, you paint a beautiful picture, a desperate picture, a sad picture. It brings tears to my eyes. But the idea that you guys go there twice a year, that you dispense medicine, that you do surgeries, that you care, your heart's there, and you care that they have to wait for you. That's so amazing, that the compassion that you have for them. It really is a beautiful thing. We don't see a lot of it in this world right now. People think that there's compassion fatigue, and people don't want to donate or give money anymore. They're just tired of giving. But when I hear your story, when I see that you go there and you're hands on, you can't help but want to give. you know, because you're there and
that's right.
you're
Yes,
feeling the desperation.
yes, witnessing their poverty, and knowing that yes, they need help, because the 14-year-old boy just looked like an 8-year-old,
Oh, just
undernourished,
malnutrition.
and yeah, educated.
Oh,
Yeah,
no
because they
education.
of their status. Yeah, they no education, not available.
So
So the most important thing.
CieCie, is there a website where people can donate to help them get their status, where they can donate that money?
Yes, please. Thank you very much, Frankie. If you would like to donate your spare change, or with your heart, please donate to www.ahha.org.au. So
Okay.
please donate, if you can.
I'll
Thank
put that
you.
up
And
again
because
too.
yeah, and because we would like to do that every year on a regular basis, not only to Cambodia and Vietnam, we would like to extend our hand to any other country that need our help. So to do that, we need substantial amount of fund. Lucky for us, every year we raise fund in Australia, and the community is so generous. And we need, every operation like that need 100,000 or more. But we are lucky that the community contributing heavily. But to continue doing that, to provide help and medical care, humanitarian aid, along the line, we need help from outside the community as well.
CieCie, where's the operating theater? Do they go to a local hospital, or where do they do the surgeries?
In the local hospital, we have to hire. We have to hire a local hospital. Yeah, at those, we had to hire the local hospital. And at one stage, I think when I was there in 2008, the hospital that we hired, we had to jump in, sterilize the place early in the morning, 5-6 o'clock in the morning. The nurses, the doctor, the ophthalmologist, and everyone come in, and we have to sterilize.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not what you're used to.
Sure that, yeah, and patient, some patient, that I remember that a patient who she about to go into the operation theater, she asked me to look after a pair of thongs for her, because that's the only possession of value to her. She's afraid that because you can't wear anything when you get into the operation room.
Right.
So she asked me to keep it for her.
Oh.
So it's not going to be lost. So I had to bring that pair of thongs, put it somewhere, and then waiting for her to come out and give it back to her. To see, and it's really a minute, just so tiny projection like that, and it's so important to them, and we're taking everything for granted.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. When we think, it's painful to think that people need that much. Just tiny bit of their of our spare.
I know,
change,
it's
whatever,
like nothing, right?
Get on with their life.
Did they? Is there any work that they do? Can they work at all and make any money? Or no?
Yes, they are. They are. When they was living on the river, a Tonle Sap, which is the huge river in Cambodia, they were fishermen there, and because of pollution, now recently they were there for 40 years on the river, on floating hamlets, but now they're actually onto land. Now the Cambodian authority actually allowing them to get onto land, to get off the river to stay on land. But to stay on land, they're still on rickety constructed hut.
Right.
And now it's the high water season at the moment, and it even more difficult to them, because when the water rise to a certain level, their hut actually can float. It's lost because it's only rickety constructed on, for
little poles.
very simple construction. It can be floated, it can be lost, and lives can be lost. Family can be even more displaced. I had pictures from those villages, and I felt so sad looking at that. But still, the thing is, the children, they're still smiling. The children, every picture that we had a local volunteer, and she's so devoted. She's so beautiful in her nature. She went to the villages and distributing our vouchers to them, and it took her maybe a day just to get there and to go back. And every time she sent me the picture with the children, they were smiling. It's just amazing. So amazing. Yes. And when I was on the bus traveling back to the hotel, children playing happily in the muddy water. Mekong River, so muddy. It's only a little creek alongside the road.
Yeah.
And they were playing there, swimming. And
no video
laughing.
games for them.
No video games, nothing, but with each other and playing, in the muddy water, but happy, laughing. And it's just beautiful to see them. And I would like to give them some education. Yeah. At least when they're becoming a legal citizen, they can go to school. At the moment, only charitable bodies that providing school, private tutoring for them, but only 40% of the children that can afford that, because you have to travel to those schools, and most of them are Catholic schools, providing basic mathematics and Vietnamese to them, to help them to read and write. So that's why we had difficulty with labeling. That they can read. We have to label with like
phonetically.
The sun
with signs.
And yes, that morning. Then at lunch, the full sun at lunch, and then the half moon, and then the stars. So yes, you know that because they can read. They can read.
So I guess that you need to get some teachers who want to go there and volunteer and stay for a while and teach these children, but they would need to speak Vietnamese or Cambodian. Which would they need to speak?
Yes. At the moment, the Vietnamese request was from Vietnam.
Okay.
Try to the teacher Vietnamese. Yeah. But hopefully once they can go into Cambodian school, they can read and write Cambodian.
So is it beneficial to them to speak both languages, English and Vietnamese?
I think they're speaking both languages because they had to. Yeah. But still, reading and writing, only the 40% of the children that afford, the families afford to get them to the capital, even though it's just, they have to pay a little fee, even though, it's providing sort of free of charge in general, but still, that's why to admin fee and things like that. Only 40%.
So people who are listening,
go to school.
If you're a teacher or you want to be a teacher and you speak Vietnamese, maybe reach out and to the AHHA, or I don't know, even to CieCie or the village, and see if you can't go there and become a stable, of teachers, maybe people who can rotate in and out a little bit, because I think it's probably very difficult to live there if you're not used to those kinds of conditions. But if you could go and be a volunteer, because that sounds like it's a huge need for everybody under 16 anyway.
Yes, I know that to be there and to witness.
I know that I know one guy who, what he did was he went to Tibet and he taught some older kids, and then as they graduated, they had to volunteer to teach some younger kids, and then after a year they got some jobs, like they were helped to get jobs because they stayed and volunteered. Right? So something like that, where the older ones can teach the younger ones and then get an opportunity to move on in life.
Exactly. That's right. Even with English, if you can teach English, because I think Cambodia actually getting more developing with outsiders, with manufacturer that coming over to open the business there. So hopefully that the country is getting more developed and people will have more jobs.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're doing a beautiful thing, wonderful work. The AWHA is doing an amazing job, and I wish, and I hope to hear from more organizations, because I love to feature them, and because I like to know that people are doing good things in the world, and that other people know about it too. You know. So thank you for what you do, CieCie.
Thank you, Frankie,
amazing.
for raising awareness with me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, certainly.
I'm so glad. I'm here today to talk with you, to talk with everyone about the job that the organization is providing to the poor and underprivileged, and
is there anything else you want to say? Is there anything else you want to tell us about them, or that you want to say?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's well, about my
CieCie's been warned not to be political, so we're not going to get political.
No, it's okay. Because it's not available on online. It's only Kindle. It's only Kindle that's available now. But I hope that I will be able to republish it, hopefully in the near future.
Yes.
Just for people to read it, because
I hope so. It is an amazing book, amazing read. I couldn't put it down. It's so good.
You're so
really
kind.
No, I'm not kind. I'm honestly, it was such a good book, CieCie. Let me help you republish it. Like, if you need help to go there, like, let's do it, because it really is so good. And I talked to I told you that I have two brothers who were adopted Vietnamese boat children, right? And they don't talk about that experience. They don't tell their kids about it because they don't want to visit it.
No.
And so I think your book is very important, because for those people who won't talk about that experience, I think the children need to know about it.
Yeah,
the younger generation needs to know what happened.
The truth.
The truth.
The truth.
The truth. Yeah.
The truth. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's important, and for anybody to know. And it's a historical book. It's a pseudo autobiographical book. Names have been changed, but we know who they are. And and your mother played a pivotal role. Your mother was like the most brave and courageous person, wasn't she?
Leadership role. Yeah. I translated into Vietnamese, and I self-published it last year. So yeah,
wow.
she read it all. She read it all.
She read it all.
My brother just said, "Oh, she's just holding on the book and reading it, forgotten to eat her lunch." Oh, that's good.
You know what's so funny?
So
I wrote that book about my dad too, and he was just here, and he was laughing as he was reading it, and we said, "Why are you laughing?" He goes, "Because, he goes, I don't recognize myself." He goes, "I know it's me and those things happen to me, but it's like it happened to somebody else, right?" And he goes, "It's pretty amazing, right? It's true though. Like, you never see yourself as you really are, right?"
Yeah, that's good. Oh, you're so talented, Frankie. You're so talented.
It's not about talent. It's just about, I want his story to get out. His story is an important story too. And just like your story and your mother's story, women are, it's amazing how strong the Vietnamese women have been, really taking charge and control, because the men were gone. A lot of the men were gone, and they, the ladies were left behind to pick up the slack.
Keep going. Yes. Yeah, keep going.
Resourceful.
I think that's the motto. Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. Keep going and don't look back.
Keep going.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and don't forget, if you would like to donate, please go to www.ahha.org.au. And we are so grateful for anything that you guys donated, because there's no administration fee. Everything is going to be toward the charity work, because we have help from every direction of life, professional help, in every walks of life. We are donating our support, our time, and even money towards the good cause. No admin fee at all.
That's awesome.
So that's
awesome. Okay, CieCie, I'm going to take us off of Facebook. Facebook, thanks for listening to us. It's been great, and I will see you again next week. This CieCie Nguyen is my guest. Her book is called ShockPeacd, if you can find it anywhere, maybe still, but she will republish it.
Kindle is available. Yes.
Yeah, and just please go and to the the www.aaha.org.au and give generously, because it's not nice to be a stateless person. It'd be nice to have become a citizen of a country and know that you belong somewhere and get all of the benefits that belong to being a citizen. Right. So there you go.
Thank you, Frankie, for your kind words.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. And thank you, audience.
Bye, Facebook.
Bye.
Okay. Don't go anywhere.
Night.
Don't go anywhere.